In this episode, I go over my top 5 picks for New Comic Book Day coming out next week, March 23rd, 2022. What's going on, everybody? Justin here, aka No Good Comics, and welcome back to the channel. In this episode, I'm going over my top 5 picks for New Comic Book Day coming out next week, March 23rd, 2022. If you are here for that, if you're here for all the great new books that are about to come out next week, take a moment, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. And like I say, it is another great week for comic books. Really looking forward to it. So I have a couple things on the list. Of course, first, I got to talk about my honorable mentions to start it off. Then I'll get into my top 5 picks that I'm looking forward to most, and then I'll end it out with my cover buy of the week. So, yeah, again, appreciate everybody. Maybe if you're here right now in the premiere chat, thank you so much for hanging out with me. Otherwise, if you're just watching this on your own time, I do appreciate that as well. But let's get right into this. So I'm going to start out with my honorable mentions. Again, this is coming out for next week, New Comic Book Day, and there are a ton of great titles. Of course, could not fit all of them into my top 5, so I wanted to mention a couple here. So the first one I want to mention is a Wolverine. It's an X-Men book. It's Wolverine Patch, issue number 1, and it's going to tell stories based on the earlier Patch series that came out years ago. I actually think it's going to be stories that take place prior to that, I believe. Either way, I've never ever had the chance to read some of the earlier stuff that included Patch for Wolverine stories. So I don't know. I mean, I'm looking forward to this just because it's a new Wolverine title that I want to explore. I'm sure I'm going to have some questions along the way, but either way, I'm definitely looking forward to this. Written by Larry Hama, and the artist is Andrea DeVito. So a couple cool covers for that. The other one I wanted to mention is Philadelphia, issue number 20 is coming out, which is crazy because I'm almost caught up to this. In fact, I will be joining Michelle next week as she breaks down. She has a whole crew that's joining her, including myself, and we're going to be breaking down the 3rd trade volume of Philadelphia. So I'm almost caught up to that. So I wanted to just mention that this is still a fantastic ongoing series. I can't wait to be caught up to where I could start reading on a regular, monthly basis. But Philadelphia has been fantastic. So looking forward to that. I also wanted to mention Bolero, issue number 3. I actually have not been able to get a chance to read issue 2 yet. But I really enjoyed issue 1. It was definitely a great read and very interested to see where that story goes. So I wanted to just mention that Bolero issue number 3 is going to be coming out for those who are interested. And then the other one that I had to throw on here as an honorable mention, normally it's in my top 5. It's Department of Truth. Issue number 17 is coming out this week. And the reason it did not make my top 5, and it hasn't been making my top 5, is because with this this next volume set, I've decided to wait until the story arc comes out in a trade. So, decided to wait it this time around. I had read 1 through 13, and I've been loving it. It's a fantastic series, but with the in-depth storytelling that it has, I feel that I need to be able to binge it. I think I need, so much information that comes with Department of Truth, and each issue is very heavy. So I thought maybe I'll try it this way for this round, for this volume, and go about it that way. So who knows? I might jump back into the regular monthly as well later on, but it's definitely one of my favorite series. So I didn't want to forget about that. Wanted to just bring that up in case anybody is interested in continuing to read that. Put it on your list. If you haven't read Department of Truth, definitely check it out. Go back to issue 1. Pick it up in trade. But that's fantastic stuff by James Tynion. So that is my honorable mentions I wanted to just throw out there as kind of my way to cheat and get more than 5 comic books into this list. But now I want to get into the top 5 books that I am looking forward to most coming out next week. And the first one here I'm going to go with is Rogues. This is a DC Black Label book, and DC Black Label has not steered me wrong yet. I've been enjoying everything that I've been reading so far over the past year or so. So pretty much I'm down for anything that's DC Black Label, and this looks really interesting. It's Joshua Williamson, who's currently writing Batman right now, amongst other a ton of other DC books. So I want to give this a shot. I don't know if this is necessarily an ongoing. Usually the DC Black Label stuff's like anywhere from 3 to 6 issues long, so I imagine it'll be somewhat of a condensed story line. Otherwise, I don't know much else about it. I didn't even really look into it other than just seeing that this came up. It's a cool looking cover. Again, DC Black Label in general. Like, I'm just, anything that comes up, if I've never heard of the characters, so what? I just dive in because the stories have been so well done recently. And actually, that reminded me, for my honorable mentions, I should have also included Batman One Dark Knight. I forgot that that's issue 2 is coming out. I actually missed issue number 1, so hasn't been quite on my radar. But talking about DC Black Label, that probably should be in my honorable mentions. But yeah, so definitely looking forward to Rogues. Let's see, the artist Leo Max, Massimiliano Leo Max. Wow, what a name. Oh, the other thing that turned me on to this. That's right, I forgot about that. The other thing that turned me on was the colorist, Matt Lopes. He's involved with this, or Mateus Lopes. He's fantastic. I fell in love with his coloring over on Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. And if you haven't, checked out that series, that's a fantastic series by Tom King. Bilquis Evely does the interior and the penciling for that, and then Matt Lopez is doing the coloring. So he's doing coloring for this as well. Matt is also just a really down to earth guy. I've talked to him over on Instagram. Real easy to talk to, and very talented. So yeah, definitely that was another thing that kind of turned me on to wanting to explore more of his work. And so I saw that this was coming out, Rogues. So that is why it is number 5 on my top 5 list. Moving into number 4, I am very excited for Trial of the Amazons Wonder Girl, issue 1 of 2. I wasn't sure if I was going to get into this event or not. I've been reading Nubia though, and I've been really enjoying it. So I decided to give it a shot. I read Trial of the Amazons that came out last week. I really enjoyed that setup. I like where it's going. So I want to continue on with that. The other thing, of course, putting this into my top 5, it's Joelle Jones, which I mean, even just looking at this cover, very close to being my cover of the week. Like, it's a beautiful cover, and it's a connecting cover. Like I said, it's a 1 of 2, limited series. So, looking forward to seeing them together whenever, the next one comes out. But the way that they're telling Trial of the Amazons as this event unfolds is it's a lot of solo series or solo issues or 2-part issues, short story arcs along with the main story, which is Trial of the Amazons. So Trial of the Amazons itself is a 2-issue miniseries, but it kind of splits off into a few other directions, this one being one of them. So that is where I think, in reading order terms, this is the next one up on the list. So yeah, and if you're wondering, like, Trials of the Amazons, essentially, there are a few different, what are they? Tribes, like a few different tribes that are now coming back and trying to essentially reclaim not just like who's going to be in charge of the Doom's doorway, but also who is going to potentially be queen of the Amazons as things kind of get things escalate, and I guess I'll leave it at that. But either way, Yara Flor, huge fan, love the Yara Flor stuff. I know they ended the series to that, and I was sad. I wish they didn't, but hopefully we continue to get these little spurts of Yara Flor, and we see more of her character just in general in the near future. Joelle Jones really putting that character together in a fantastic way. Also, light mention here, this is not my cover by the week, but I had to just put this on screen real quick. Jeff DeCal doing this cover. It's so great. Just so great. Not my cover by the week, but I will probably, most likely, definitely be buying this cover as well because it's Jeff DeCal and it's Yara Flor. So fantastic stuff. So that is my number 4 pick of the week. DC book here, Trial of the Amazons, Wonder Girl issue number 1. So it's 2 DC books in a row. And actually, now that I look forward, whew, man, I don't know if Sove Collector is here right now, Michael, but I don't know if he's going to be happy about the rest of this list per se, but I know Copy 801 will be if he's here. Yeah, so let's get into my number 3 pick. It's another DC book, and I really didn't know. I mean, these next 3 all could be number 1. I know I say that a lot, but I really mean it. Like these 3 books I'm about to talk to, I'm so excited for. I don't know how I'm going to determine which one I'm going to jump into first. I'm probably going to 2 of the 3 are DC books, so I'm probably going to read these DC books first just because they come out Tuesdays. And then I'll read the X-Men book, I just spoiled it, and just read the mutant book, or the Marvel book on Wednesday. Totally spoiled that. I'm not going to edit that out though. So, all right, my number 3 pick is a DC book, and it has to go to Robin issue number 12. This series has been so good, so good, and in fact, it's made me love the character Damien. Like I didn't know anything about Damien prior to this series, and I just gave it a shot. I wanted to get into it. Who was it? Joshua Williamson been doing the writing on this. Roger Cruz recently took over with the artwork on this. I know it's been going back and forth with, I think, Gleb Milnovic, who's also been doing a lot of it, which has also been fantastic. Really enjoy Roger Cruz's artwork recently on issue 11? He may have done 10 as well. So I don't know if he's on this for just the story arc or what the deal is, but I am very impressed with Roger Cruz as well. And yeah, Damian Wayne, Robin, the tournament is over. The Lazarus tournament, if you've been reading, the first 6 issues was a build up to this massive tournament with the League of Lazarus, or the League of or it's on Lazarus Island. And now I'm forgetting the names. 2 different leagues, technically. League of Shadows and the other one. I can't remember the name of it. But either way, really looking forward to seeing where this goes, because now the tournament's over. Things have kind of been resolved. Last issue definitely buttoned up some things nicely. The issue before that, issue 10, was a little bit more of background to Mother Soul, who we've been learning a little bit about, the character that had kind of put this tournament together. And the ending to last issue was insane. Talking about issue 11, not gonna say what it was, but that just got me so excited for Robin, for Batman, for the DC Nightwing, the Robin family, the Batman family, the ending of that has got me so excited. So if you haven't read it, if you read it, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't read it, go check it out. I'm really excited. So as you can see, like I said, this could easily be my number 1 pick. But yeah, so that's going to be my number 3 pick on the week. Robin, issue number 12. By the way, dope cover right there. And let's see, the cover artist is by Victor Bogdanovic. I almost got that mixed up there. And I should put these up here too. There's also a really stunning 1 in 25 variant and a cover B stock variant, cardstock variant from Francis Manapool. But anyways, all fantastic. I mean, man, this cover A, I'll probably buy this too. It's just so dope. So anyways, let's move on. That's my number 3 pick of the week, Robin, issue number 12. Going into my number 2, it's another DC book. Yeah, I mean, this is just where I'm at, people. It's where I'm at. Just take me for who I am at this point. I am fully embracing this book right here. It's the Human Target issue number 6. Fully embracing this series. I've been absolutely loving this series. It's been so good. It's Tom King working his magic here. And of course, Greg Smallwood, who has stolen my heart with his artwork. It has been so fantastic. I can't get enough. I cannot get enough of this. And I will say I appreciate how Tom King is incorporating some of these other characters, these other heroes and villains alike, into some of this story that's kind of introducing me to some of the B-level characters and so on and so forth. We had the Blue Beetle last time. Martian Manhunter was in last issue, actually. And yeah, we get Fire and Ice, which I didn't know much about, Fire and Ice. And a few others that I still am learning as I go. And then, of course, Christopher Chance, who he himself, to my knowledge, is definitely not an A-list, character. So for Tom King to be able to do this and take a character that, 1, I never heard of before, 2, I don't know anything about, and just make me feel for the character and really enjoy it. That's what I mean when I talk about the Tom King magic. So yeah, I really enjoy it. Christopher Chance here. It's a really cool character. And really great overall series. So that's really all I can say about that. We learned a lot last issue. We get a little background to Christopher Chance, a little bit more of his origin story, kind of how he became who he is. We get a glimpse of his father and who he is as a kid and growing up. And then we also get a little twist. Some things that go on with Martian Manhunter and some information that we've been seeking that we finally learn about. So again, won't get into those details, but definitely looking forward to issue 6 here. And I think this is issue 6 of 12, if I'm not mistaken. I think this is a 12-issue miniseries, or maybe an 8-issue. I'll have to double check, but this is a cool cover too. Yeah, good stuff there. And Yeah, I'm just looking at the variants. Not so crazy about some of the variants. But yeah, definitely the cover A's, and definitely that's actually another. This has been another series where I've been buying all the cover A's just because Greg Smallwood has he's just been fantastic, and I want to do like a comic book spread later, kind of show all them off as I get get the whole thing. So that's my number 2 pick of the week, and again, Human Target. This is a series that you don't need to know much of anything. You could just go into this, read it like an indie title, and if that's how I've been reading a lot of these DC books lately, especially the Black Label stuff and just a lot of the DC books. I just feel like there's not a lot of prior reading required, and it's what they call like very new reader friendly, and I think that's something that I really appreciate, and I'm giving it a shot to, and the stories have been fantastic. That's all I can say. Folks in the chat, let me know. Let me know what you think. Have you been reading The Human Target? Have you been reading Robin, some of these other DC books that I've been talking about? I mentioned Sove Collector. He's a huge Marvel guy, and I respect that, and I love Marvel. Marvel will always have my heart. But right now I'm just exploring a lot of this other stuff, and I'm really enjoying it, So, yeah, got to put Human Target up there as my number 2 pick of the week, issue number 6 by Tom King and Greg Smallwood. Okay, before we get into my number 1 pick, want to remind you to stick around after, because I will give my top cover buy of the week that I'm excited for as well. And other than that, I want to remind everybody, thanks again for hanging out. Smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. I will not be here for Comic Collector Origins this Saturday. I'm actually going to be going to a convention, a comic book convention. Really excited for that. It's called King Con. So that's going to be here in New Jersey. It's like 40 minutes from where I live. I heard a lot of the community members are going to be there. So I'm looking forward to just hanging out with folks, doing a little hunting, have a couple books in mind that I want to keep an eye out for. I'll probably film a couple things, maybe, who knows, maybe create a YouTube video, or if at the very least, I will make sure to have some stories up over on Instagram. Maybe I'll do a live video over there, and maybe put a couple fun reels together. So if you're interested in that, if you want to check that out, go over to my Instagram account. That'll be this Saturday. I'll be there all day, essentially, planning to just hang out with folks and just have a good time. It's a Comic-Con. It's always good to, get that opportunity to get back at a Comic-Con again, and a nice warm up to some of the bigger Comic-Cons that I have later on this year. So yeah, with all that, let's dive into my number 1 pick of the week, and it is a Marvel book. I had kind of leaked it when I was talking about my 3rd pick. It's an X-Men book. It is the X Deaths of Wolverine issue number 5. And well, first of all, so this has just been an amazing read, right? Absolutely fantastic. At the time I'm recording this, X Lives of Wolverine is about to come out. So I'm recording this on a Tuesday. So X Lives, the issue 5, I'm really excited for. But this is X Deaths. It had to be my number 1 pick easily by far, because it has been so good. It has been combining everything that Hickman has worked on for over the past 2 years, and it's continuing that. It's picked it up and carrying on kind of the torch that Hickman had passed along. Specifically, I'm referring to Benjamin Percy. He has been just doing a fantastic job of really continuing onward with the direction that Hickman had taken the X-Men, had taken mutants, and to know more about Moira, about her history and her future, I should say, and her plans and everything going on. The last issue, X Deaths of Wolverine issue number 4, was insanely amazing. It's just amazing. It was so great. It was so dark, and so there were some gruesome parts in there, and some parts that were just like over the top, not expecting to see what I saw. I'm just so excited. I'm excited to see how everything's connecting right now. I'm excited to see how X Lives finishes up, because that's the close, that's the ending of X Lives issue number 5, and then obviously we have this one here as X Deaths issue number 5, and yeah, I know there's a lot of other ideas coming out, future X titles and things like that. So I'm curious to see kind of where Benjamin Percy leaves off with this. Technically this is a 10-issue series altogether, 5 and 5, but very much like the House of X Powers of 10, that being a 6 issues, each of them being 6 issues. This very much, carried in the same vein. So, yeah, if you haven't been reading this, I would say to check it out, but you have to. There's a lot of prior reading, before that to get into. That's the tough thing with the X books. If you're like brand new and you're just diving in, there's a lot of backstory and context to this stuff where, if you never read House of X Powers of 10, you're not going to have a clue as to what's kind of going on here. And then even more so, there's like Inferno and X of Swords. There's so many other things that I would say obviously build up to being such a strong part to a lot of this with what Benjamin Percy's telling. So, I would say this is definitely not new reader friendly, but when you commit the time, it's a great payoff. Or it's been a great payoff. Everything Hickman's been doing was fantastic, and Benjamin Percy now doing a just awesome job with this. So, also great cover here. I think this is going to be connecting cover here with, I'm assuming anyways, or a wraparound, probably connecting with X Lives. So yeah, and there's a ton of covers for this as well. So, man, yeah, that's all I have to say about it. That's my number one pick. X Deaths of Wolverine, issue number 5. Can't wait. Cannot wait. Of course, Marvel. Don't worry, I had some Marvel on the list, but it was up towards, it's at the very top. So, so if you're in the chat, man, I hope you enjoy that moment of Marvel shout out there. But anyways, again, this is just my top 5. I rattled off a bunch of other books that are coming out. It's just a great time to be collecting, a great time to be reading. It's just been so much fun. The hobby's fantastic. Community's fantastic. You guys already know that. Don't go away yet. I want to show my cover buy of the week, and then I'll get you all out of here. Cover buy of the week is, for me, the book that is a must-have, whether I'm reading that series or not. And unfortunately, the book I'm talking about here today is a series that I am not really currently reading, nor do I really have any plan to anytime soon, unless someone recommends it otherwise. But I'm going with this cover right here. Bam, there it is. Elektra, Black, White, and Blood. This is issue number 3. And I talked so much about Greg Smallwood that I'm going to continue the conversation because this is a variant by Greg Smallwood. It is a 1 in 25 incentive variant, and I'm all about it. I am definitely going to make sure that I get a copy of this. Elektra, absolutely beautiful here. Stunning artwork, so realistic. Like, I just love Smallwood's vibes and how he draws characters. It's just so great. So love the the dark shadows in the background. You just see her face, the red, and yeah, absolutely fantastic. Let me know if anybody here is reading this right now, this series. I'm curious, is it good? I think it's like a collection of stories or something like that, or at least I thought. Maybe I'm wrong. I haven't heard anything about it. Nothing good, but nothing bad either. So I guess maybe that's a good thing. And there's actually a few dope covers for this. Bagley did a variant, and then of course the main cover as well. But yeah, Greg Smallwood, man, so good, so good. It's gotta have it. So again, this is a cover buy of the week. This is what I'm buying automatically just because of the cover. I think we all have those moments. We all have those covers, that artwork that just gets us. And for me, it's pretty much weekly. So that's why I've been including this, because I just, I try to buy 3 books every week, and usually one of them is strictly a cover buy because I just fall in love with the art. And so, hey, it is what it is. I'm enjoying it. It's a fun part for me. So let me know. Let me know in the comment section below. Are you buying this cover? Are you reading this book? Is it worth my time? Should I check it out? Has it been great? Maybe not. You let me know. Otherwise, would love to hear your thoughts just in general. Leave a comment in the comment section below. Give me any recommendations that you have. Maybe something I left off the list here, whether it was part of the recommendations or my top 5 or the cover buy or whatever it is. You name it. I will check it out. But yeah, appreciate everybody that's watching. Thank you all so much in the Premiere chat right now. It's always a pleasure hanging out with everybody on a Thursday afternoon here. And again, remember, I will not have Comic Collector Origins this week coming up, but I will have it the following Saturday. So looking forward to that as well. Otherwise, everybody be safe. Have a great weekend. And until next time, I'll talk to you later.